and welcome back to the Messy Bookshelf. I'm Jennifer, and today I have a special guest with me. This is Nicole, and she's actually one of my coworkers, but she also has a blog of her own called Wonderland Madness. I will leave all of her links down below for you to check that out. Today, because it is a Tuesday, we are going to be talking about the Merciless 2. This is the second book in a series by Danielle Vega called The Merciless. So if you haven't read the first book, we're gonna do a little bit of an introduction for you to figure out if it's something you'd want to check out. And if it is something you want to check out, I highly suggest you go and pick that book up before watching the rest of the video. So let's get started. So Nicole, why don't you tell us a bit about the first book?
Well, The Merciless follows Sophia Flores as she moves to a new school, and she befriends kind of a gothic punk girl, Brooklyn Stevens, but she also becomes friends with these three girls, Riley, Grace, and Alexis. And they're kind of like the popular girls, and they're also like really into like the church. So basically, Riley and her friends don't really like Brooklyn. They don't really get along with her because she's different. With the help of Sophia, they kind of kidnap her, tie her up in a basement, and perform an exorcism on her because they believe she's possessed by the devil. It's just really torturous, really mean girls type of The Exorcism. It's a really good book, especially if you're into the teen horror. It's personally one of my favorites by Danielle Vega.
So, as you can tell, this book is pretty fantastic. I remember she was the one who got me into it. I had seen it on BookTube a few times, but hadn't heard a whole lot about it. And then she convinced me to read it, so I borrowed it from work, and I had it read in like 2 days. It was such a good book, so fast-paced and well-written. I really enjoyed it. So if you haven't read the first one, you should definitely go and check that out now, and then once you read that, come back and watch how the second one sounds. So from here on out, we'll be talking about the second book, The Merciless 2. We both received ARCs through work for an honest review, and we decided, since we're both reading it, let's do a collab video about our thoughts, because as soon as I had it finished in New York, I immediately texted her and was like, oh my gosh, because this book was just so good. So basically, this book starts kind of, is it like right after?
A couple months after.
Yeah, it's been like 3 months.
It still follows Sophia, kind of as she is dealing with the death of her friends from the first book and kind of trying to forget about her experience with Brooklyn and finding out that she's also evil. Circumstances have her sent to a Catholic boarding school where she has these quirky roommates, like she befriends one of the nuns there and also an altar boy who she kind of has something going on with him, and they confide in each other, and she tells him everything about the first book, everything that happened with her and her friends and Brooklyn and the being possessed as she has come to accept. And he kind of goes off the rails and decides that the only way to save her is to perform another torturous exorcism. So that is the basis of the book. If you weren't so sure on the first book, and this definitely is a gripping story and keeps you on your toes, because I read it in a day. Yes, I was on a plane for most of the day and we had some hiccups, so I got lots of reading done, but I could have easily read this in a day even if I wasn't stuck on a plane. From here on out, it's going to be open for spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, stop the video here, hit that like button, and maybe even save it so you can come back after and see what we thought about the rest of the book. Okay, time for open free discussion book talk, which I've never actually done because normally I try to keep my reviews spoiler free. There was so much in this book that just blew it out of the water. Like, it just needs to be talked about.
I loved the first book, and first when I read this, I wasn't like, I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but like now after like sitting and thinking on it, I'm like, you know what? This was so much better than the first one. Like, yes, it's a little like slow in places.
It starts off moving really slow as she doesn't believe anything has happened. She refuses to acknowledge the demon anything. Like, she has a psychological explanation for everything that happened.
Like, I wasn't sure how it was gonna play out, especially with the mother dying.
Yeah.
Because
that was really shocking.
Yeah. Like, after it happened, I was kind of like, I kind of expected something to happen to her mother because where I knew she was getting sent away.
I had no idea. None. I had no idea it was going to be because of that.
I didn't think she was going to die, though. I also didn't expect it to have been caused by Brooklyn.
Yeah. After the ending, where she ended up exactly where I wanted Sophia to be, I thought it would be a really cool angle for her to be in the insane asylum, and I was like, no, there's no way. But Daniel Vega totally took it there.
I was really hoping it would go that way too. Like, the whole time I'm like, okay, so how is she gonna get in this insane asylum? Because it has to happen, because like she herself thinks she's going crazy because like her grandmother is calling her Diablo, and then like everyone around her is dying. Like, no wonder she goes fucking crazy. And then like she keeps seeing Brooklyn and everything.
So the whole ending, which is like why we wanted to make the spoiler part of the video, was when she is in the mental institution, we find out that Brooklyn is dead. We're up until this very end of the book. It was suspected. Sophia said she was alive. Like, the police never found her. She had gotten away. And this is why she was so scared the whole book, was because she felt Brooklyn was the devil and she was coming after her, and there was all these signs and like delusions she had throughout the book. But you find out at the end she's dead. She died in the woods close to where Riley died at the cabin.
And then when she's like being interviewed by the cops at the insane asylum and she like bites his ear off, I actually kind of giggled at that.
She really released her demon at that moment.
Yeah.
And it left both of us wondering if Brooklyn even killed the 3 girls from the first book.
Yeah.
If it was really Sophia and the whole Brooklyn thing was part of the delusion.
Yeah, because she's clearly delusional. Like, she keeps seeing Brooklyn appear in all of these people. Like, the nun that she befriends, like, turns into Brooklyn, and it's like that, like, it just, like...
Is the whole other book different than what we thought? It had a completely different twist to it.
Like, because we're seeing it through Sophia's eyes, we're not really getting the whole story, and it makes me wonder if maybe she's an unreliable narrator.
She's hard to trust, because now I suspect that it was actually Sophia who killed all her friends from the first book.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn had nothing wrong with her. It's just Sophia.
Yeah. Because Brooklyn being found dead not far from
Riley
is like, well...
So Daniel Vega has announced that there is going to be more, because there's clearly more to Sophia's story than we realize.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Hopefully another book.
I did read something that suggested a book maybe on Brooklyn, so maybe we'll figure out that story, if she was actually really evil or...
So we're down here in this low quality. Yeah, we are. So let us know down in the comments if what you thought about this fantastic sequel and what your hopes are for the next book. Or if you haven't read it yet, let us know if you're going to read it, if you've read any of the books at all, or if you've read Survive the Night, because I haven't read that one, even though she tells me I need to.
It's really great.
Survive the Night is Danielle Vega's other book which came out before this one. This one comes out on July 5th, so do pick it up if you read the first one. It was such a good sequel. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button. And do check out her blog because she has reviews and they're awesome. Bye!